We are
Here we
live.
go, broadcasting live. All right, everybody share it. Get it to their, pages.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back.
Welcome
What's
back,
up, everybody?
everyone. All right, all right.
So I will say this one thing we forgot to do a lot of last podcast is let these people know what the name of the podcast is. I think we said it one time, and that was it. So we're gonna do a better job of reminding y'all. It's the Shoot Your Shot podcast.
That's
No
right.
the in the beginning. There's no the. Don't put the in front.
All right, awesome. Shoot Your Shot podcast. Don't worry, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be getting a phone number and we'll be taking calls. So that way we can get some
Yeah.
questions and things going on up in here.
Check
All right.
out the IG. I just added the IG today at Shoot Your Shot podcast. We revamped the Facebook a little bit, put some images up, and we got an email address if you want to email us. It's shootyourshotpod@gmail.com. So you have any questions, something you want to see for hear from us, send us an email, hit the Instagram, hit the Facebook.
There you go.
We
Beautiful.
also we also got a Twitter page also at Shoot Your Pod One that we gotta revamp that as well. It's all in the progress, but it's up and running. So if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, we'll be keeping you guys with info daily on Twitter as well.
There you go. So we on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Gmail, everywhere. So
YouTube,
YouTube.
YouTube, we live on
AOL,
YouTube, live
AIM,
on Twitch.
MSN.
So holla at us. Let us know what y'all want. Let us know what y'all want to see and want to hear. All right. So from there, you take it, Joe. Let's see what the first topic is.
So we're gonna get into it. We had a request last episode. Thanks for listening. I forgot who it was, but somebody
That was
mentioned they wanted.
John.
There it is. He wanted us to talk a little football, NFL draft. So we're gonna do real quick because we got a lot to talk about with basketball. So we'll start off with our each of our favorite teams, how we think our teams did, and then we'll get a little bit into some more general terms. So Joe, why don't you take it first? How you think your squad did?
Everyone knew they was going to draft a quarterback.
Who's they? Let us. Who's your squad? Some people don't know.
The Jets. I'm a Jets fan. Everyone, who knows me knows that. But everyone knew we was going to take a quarterback. Was I happy at first? No, but it's the Jets, and you pretty much just got to roll with it. As of right now, let's just see if Zach Wilson can produce like everyone thinks he can. I was in hopes of building around the team and fixing all the potholes that we may have, but the Jets feel and it's the quarterback. So we're taking it. We took another quarterback, and I just hope in 3 years we're not in the same boat as we was in. Yes.
Didn't y'all just take a quarterback not too long ago?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the Jets motto. They, every 2 to 3 years draft a quarterback, see how he does. He plays like shit, and then they draft another quarterback. So I'm just hoping we're not in the same boat as we was in, a few years ago. But hey, Zach Wilson's supposed to be the man. We just gonna take it from there.
So do you think, in your opinion, do you think that you said they filled the quarterback spot? Did they fill all the weak points they needed, or where you think they still need to address?
No, I don't believe so, because what's the sense of having a quarterback if you don't have nobody to throw to and you don't have the protection around him? I pretty much feel like you got an updated version of Sam Darnold. You don't have the pieces around him nor the pieces to protect him to give him access to succeed. So I just feel if they not making any more moves, we're going to be in the same position in 2 to 3 years where everyone's going to be down in Zach Wilson and making it seem like he's not the answer and how the Jets need to draft another quarterback. But until they address all the other issues like running back, wide receiver, offensive line, they're going to be in the same boat forever. This is just their motto. So, no, I don't think they upgraded much.
So, prediction for the season, record-wise, what you think?
Well, seeing that it's 17 games, there's no way you can finish 500 anymore. So, I'm gonna go out on a limb and give them 7 wins. I think they'll finish 7-10. Maybe 6-11, but I'm gonna give them 7-10 for right now.
Cool.
Nice.
All right, Vic. What about you? Who's your squad, and how you think they did with the draft?
49ers. The first pick we took, I didn't understand. We took Trey Lance, just in case anybody that don't know who we took. I felt we really didn't need a quarterback if we couldn't get the number 1 pick or at least the number 2 pick. Is it really an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo? In my opinion, not at the moment. I'm still befuddled. That's why we took him. I don't see any pros on it. He's just a mobile quarterback, not the most accurate. He's a smaller quarterback. So it didn't really make sense to me. We did fill some holes that we need. Cornerbacks. We drafted 2 cornerbacks. That's what we needed. We drafted another offensive line. We needed that. We drafted 2 more running backs. If I can remember correctly, we did need running back because we lost. I think we lost 2 running backs to free agency. So we did fill holes that we need. But like I said, once again, the quarterback thing was a head scratcher. Like I said, if we wasn't going to get the 1 or 2, I don't know why we took Trey Lance at 3. Hopefully I'm wrong. And this guy turns out to be Drew Brees, a mobile Drew Brees. Because like I said, he's a small quarterback. So only time could tell.
So you kind of touched on it already. So you feel like they addressed a lot of the needs that they had going in?
We addressed it, the offensive line. The offensive line's pretty old, banged up, but it's still a great offensive line. Some of the quarterbacks we lost Richard Sherman. We lost someone else. I can't remember. We tackled that. We drafted another safety, which we needed. We drafted another running back. We drafted another receiver that's going to help that receiving core out. So, yeah, most of the holes that needed to be filled, they did fill it. Once again, Trey Lance, going in there blind. I'm going to go in there positive, though.
You think he starts year 1?
No, not at all. Unless Jimmy Garoppolo injures his shoulder or something. Not at all.
I mean, Jimmy, he hasn't really been healthy much of the past 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, but it's our best option right now.
All right. Well, hey, you can only do what you can with the players that they put on the field. So
definitely.
You just hope the coaches put the team in the best position to win. So what you think end of the year record?
What is it? 17 games this season, right?
Yep.
Shoot. Can we pull the schedules up right quick or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if we could pull the schedules up. Because they released the schedules, was it earlier this week or was it last week?
I think it was earlier this week.
Yeah.
Your first game is the Lions.
I'm gonna just go out on a limb. If we're healthy, that's a big if, because it seems like every year there's a freaking major injury. If we're healthy, I'm gonna say we go 13-4 and win the division.
I'm looking at the schedule. It looks pretty easy. You got the Lions, then the Eagles, then you got the Packers, then the Seahawks, Cardinals. Those could be tough games. Well, not even the Seahawks. You got to see what the Seahawks are going to do, but that could be a win. The Colts, that might be a little tough, but you could still probably pull that one off. Then you got another easy one with the Bears, and the Rams is going to be probably a toughest.
Yeah, all the division games should be tough.
Should be pretty tough. But other than that, you got the Jaguars. That should be another win. You got the Vikings. Then you meet up with your co-host over here, the Bengals.
That's a L you taking, bro.
Yeah, right.
So then you got the Bengals. Then you got the Falcons. That should be another win. The Titans should be a little tough.
Yeah.
Then you got the Texans. Should be another easy win, cakewalk, and then you finish it off with the Rams. So
yeah,
I wouldn't give y'all 13-4. I'll give you guys maybe 11-6, 12-5, somewhere around there.
I'll take that.
Tough games. The two games against the Rams, you don't know what that's gonna be like. So I wouldn't just automatically say those are wins right there. But you guys are definitely a playoff team.
It's gonna come down to defense as always with San Francisco. That's what this is gonna come down to. This is gonna come down to San Francisco. If our defense shows up like we did when we had the Super Bowl run, we're gonna go 13-4, possibly 14-3. But we're gonna wait and see. Somebody said the 49ers is taking it, and I agree with that viewer. Thank you. We appreciate you. We're sending you a $10 DoorDash coupon.
That's my dog. That's Bonsi. That's my homie right there.
Appreciate that.
I ain't sending him shit.
Of course, that's the 49er fan saying that he's gonna send it to you. So he's responsible for that.
Yeah, you can hold that down.
All right, cool. So now let's jump into the Bengals. Seeing that we got a Bengals fan here, I kind of like y'all pick.
I think out of all three of our teams, I feel like our first pick was probably the flashiest of the three. Jamar Chase, I mean, that man, he could do some things. And we just lost AJ, who, one of my favorite players, period, for the past 10 plus years. So that hurt to lose him. So I feel like Joe Burrow wanted him. We needed the offensive lineman, but Joe Burrow wanted his old teammate. We lost AJ. It was the pick that had to happen. I think he's going to do well. Like I told y'all the other night, I think now we got at least a top 3 wide receiving core with him, Boyd, and Higgins. I don't know too many other teams that got 3 wide receivers like that. And we just signed a slot receiver, I think, from the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not even at the 49. We just signed some slot receiver a couple of days ago. I'll have to look it up. But I think we did pretty well. We addressed the D-line and the O-line in the draft. So those are our 2 real big needs for us. Because another big loss, Geno Atkins is gone now too. They've been on the team pretty much the whole time I've been a fan of the Bengals. Maybe a little before that, but my whole life I've been rooting for AJ and Geno. So they addressed both spots. So I think we addressed needs, not all of them. I still think we're a little weak at linebacker. We still don't have a tight end, so we'll see what happens there. But I honestly, it'll depend. The record's going to depend. It's whether Joe Burrow comes back week 1 and he's healthy, or he comes back and he's not healthy and they rushed him, or if he waits. It could be 3 completely different seasons as far as our record's concerned. If he comes back week 1 and he's healthy and he's good to go, I don't see us losing more than like 4 or 5 games all season.
You must be talking about on Madden not losing those many games, right, Joe?
They trash on Madden.
I'm a Jets fan. I already know y'all gonna finish with more wins than my team. So I ain't even gonna say nothing. I was just gonna ask, what do you prefer? Do you prefer Burrow get in there week 1, or would you rather him miss, the first week or 2 or whatever?
I mean, it depends. If he's right, if he's good and they're not rushing it, come back week 1. If he feel good about it, if he's 100%, come back week 1. But if you are anything less than 100%, wait.
Yeah, you don't want to risk your future.
Yeah, I mean, this dude, all analysts and pros and everybody say he's supposed to be one of the next ones to be that dude. You can't risk the right now for what could be in another 2-3 years. We drafted some O linemen. We signed some O linemen. If he can't get hit like he was getting hit last year. I watched some games, and every game he get hit one time, and you're like, "Ooh, that's the one," and it was almost just like, "All right, when's it gonna happen?" Eventually, he's gonna get hurt,
and it happened.
And if he's not right, if he's not all the way back, if he can't move around, because he got saved, because he's more mobile than people think he is or that he looks like. So if he's not right, he can't move, especially laterally. He's gonna get lit up because that offensive line gonna need time to gel, get together, and really mesh, because it's gonna be a brand new offensive line. So if he's not right, let the second string. I don't even know who our second string quarterback is. Let him get banged up for the first 3-4 weeks of the
3 games,
season.
yeah, I agree.
Our defense is good enough, and we have the weapons around. I feel like we can at least stay with teams with the second string quarterback that first part of the season. So, it all depends. But yeah, I want, again, like we were talking about the 49ers, I want the coaches to put the team in the best position to win, but be smart about it. Don't just throw him out there because he was the first pick and you feel like you have to. No, you don't. You can wait.
I look at the first 4 games of y'all schedule, and it's pretty much like you have the capabilities of winning without Burrow. You
Yeah.
guys open the season with against the Vikings. That's pretty much the toughest matchup in the first few weeks. Then you got the Bears, you got the Steelers, then you got the Jaguars. Like, those should be a pretty winnable games without having to force Burrow in there. So I would say take the time, and you don't want to kill your future. Like you said, this is a quarterback that can give you 10, 15 years. You don't want to kill him in the first 2 because you're trying to rush him out.
We don't want it to be an Andrew Luck situation.
Right. Right,
and the only game that really scares me with or without Joe Burrow's the Steelers game, because in our division, even the Browns in our division, even if overall our team is trash, when we play each other, we go in. So even if the Steelers are having a down year, that's always going to be a crazy physical game.
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of shit talking. It's always going to be a tough game. So that's really the only game I worry about, even if they do have an off year or whatever. You just you never know in our division.
Oh, definitely.
So we got a Giants fan in the chat. He said the Giants is going to win at least 5 to 6 games this season. What do you guys think about that? Because I disagree. I actually think the Giants improved on things they needed to prove on in the offseason. They drafted another receiver. They got cornerback help. They got pass rushers. If that team can stay healthy and Daniel Jones can, limit those turnovers, I think the Giants is actually going to be a pretty decent team. I can see them at least winning 9-10 games this season and possibly winning the division. What do you guys think about that?
I see him over here talking shit about my Bengals, so as much as I want to agree, I'm be like, nah, stuff like. No, I've always liked the Giants. I've always been a fan of the Giants, so I hope they do well. I honestly don't know much about who they got going on, as far as the skill positions. I know Daniel Jones was not a very popular pick. What was that, 2 years ago? But I mean, they were pretty trash last year, so you hope they only go up.
Well, they lost Saquon Barkley early in the season, and that hurt it.
Yeah, that hurt my fantasy team too.
Mine as well.
Yeah, that was definitely a big loss. I mean, I also attribute that division that they're in, and I don't see Washington, Philly or the Cowboys being, the team to beat. So that division is always up for grabs.
Wide open.
And you don't need to win 13, 14, 15 games to do it.
Nope.
And overall, when they play each other, it seems like the Giants always get the upper hand and always know what to do when they play the Eagles, the Washington team, and the Cowboys. So I'm giving them 9, maybe 10 wins. But I do see the Giants winning that division. I don't see the Cowboys winning that division. I give them the Giants.
When healthy, they have the best player in that division by an overwhelming margin.
It's not just health. I give them the most heart. Like, they have the most heart. They go out there and they give it their all, 100% every play. The Cowboys take a lot of plays off. It seems like they want to dig themselves in a hole before they want to wake up and play hard. And you can't do that against a Giants team. The Giants is coming to play from minute 1 to minute 60. So that's the one thing I can give credit to the Giants, is that they go out there no matter what and they give their all. So I'm gonna give the Giants a 10-7 record. Hey, you never know; it could be 11-6. So, but I do see them winning the division.
Yeah, and with the Cowboys, you got Dak coming off a pretty bad injury, so you don't know what you're gonna get from him. And he just got paid too, right?
Yeah.
He just got that big money. So
Yeah.
you know what happens when them dudes get that big money sometimes? They tend
Right.
to not care as much.
Right. And what you going to get from Zeke? You know, you don't know what you're going to get from Zeke. You don't know what you're going to get from that wide receiving core. They don't have that one guy that's willing to, like, step up and take charge and show that he's the man. So it's a lot of question marks in Dallas. But only, you know, time will tell. But I'm going to give the division to the Giants.
By default, pretty much.
Yeah. He said there's no
like that. Yeah, by default. I'll give it to them by default.
I see homie said Danny Dimes, there's no pressure on his job. He's playing in New York. There's always pressure if you're the quarterback of the New York Football Giants. There's always pressure.
That's true, but then again, it's like
there's no one really.
Giant fans are a little more realistic as opposed to any other New York team. They know what they're looking at, and they don't expect much. Like, you know,
they booed him.
Nick fans are starting to do that, where they look at the team and say, you know what, guys, we're not there yet. We're willing to wait. We're willing to do this. But Giant fans are like, you know what? This guy, what is this? His third year? So it's like, you know, they're not expecting a Super Bowl. I hope not. I hope they're not expecting.
You never know.
You know,
he has no pressure because there's no one battling him for that job. Like there's no backup quarterback that everyone's saying is looking good, you know.
Yeah, but usually when you're in a situation like that, there's pressure because since no one is out to get your job, you should be able to get the job done. We counting on you. You are a man. So it ain't like we got somebody back here ready to take your spot. We putting everything in on you. So go out there. And I just look at it like turnovers. As long as he don't turn the ball over,
they'll be fine.
Good. They'll be in a great situation. As long as he's not out there throwing 20-something interceptions and fumbling the ball every other play, they'll be good. So I think the Giants got the upper hand on the other teams in that division.
Yeah, like I said, I root for the Giants. I hope they do well. But I think he can't go this year with the same shit and he keeps his job, or if they don't at least draft somebody to take his spot, you know. But remains to be seen. So we touched on the NFL. I feel like you got a good chunk of that. So we'll go into what everybody really want to talk about. How wrong was I the other night on both nights? I went 0-4 on my picks. How many did y'all get with it?
I believe I was in the same boat. I don't think I picked the winning team over the last four games. I was 0-4. But I wasn't picking with logic. I was picking more with emotions. It was teams that I just wanted to see win, and I just felt like it would have been better if they would have won. But if I would have used logic and smarts in my picks, I could have easily went 4-0.
I think I went 2-2, if I'm not mistaken. I think I took Indiana.
Yeah,
I took LA.
Indiana and LA.
So I went 2-2.
Okay. And your emotions made you pick the Spurs.
Of course, you're always gonna go with you're always gonna go with your team. Whether
there you go.
If they're gonna lose, you're gonna pick your team.
You picked the Pacers too.
I picked the Pacers, yeah, and that was an easy one.
Right.
I'm telling y'all that.
Yeah, like my emotions just wanted to see Melo win. I wanted to see LaMelo win. I wanted to see them go on, and it's just you don't want things to end. And it's like I look at matchups, and I just feel like when it comes to it, Indiana's just gonna get destroyed by whoever. I just feel like they put up 144 points against the Hornets, and they might put up a stinker against the Wizards tonight. So they just so inconsistent that I really just didn't want to see them anymore.
So you're kind of touching on what I wanted to ask from both of you. Which team were you most disappointed by in all of these games? These first four?
Honestly, for me, it's kind of a toss-up between the Hornets and the Wizards. To be honestly with you, like I just expected both of them to fight harder than what they did, and they did the complete opposite of that. I thought these games were all going to be competitive. The Hornets went into that game thinking it was just another regular season game.
Mm-hmm.
There was no energy from nobody.
Yeah, I felt. I mean, I said it in the group chat. I felt like, with the exception of the Lakers and Warriors game, none of those games felt like playoff games. It felt like there was nothing on the line for any of those teams. The games were boring. They weren't fun to watch. Like with especially for the teams where it was all on the line for the Hornets, you got to put more into it. Like
this is your season on the line.
Yeah, like this is what you playing for. Like I just felt like there was supposed to be. It should have felt like more. I think the NBA would agree that they wanted more passion from these. Even Russell Westbrook wasn't even playing with no heat, with no energy. It's just like, man, like, maybe with Russell, like you were saying, Joe, he knew if they lost, they still got another chance, but I needed more.
Yeah, I agree. I was leaning more towards the Wizards and Spurs. I expected more out of the Spurs. I mean, like I said, my emotional pick was the Hornets, but deep down, I knew they was gonna lose, and they wasn't gonna put up a real fight because of the team that they are. You're talking about a bunch of guys that's just never been here before, with the exception of Rozier. Maybe if Gordon Hayward was there and he was able to play, then maybe they would have put up a better fight. But him being hurt, I just like they don't have the experience to match up. But I expected a lot more out of the Spurs, due to the fact that they're an experienced team. They've been there and they made it a fight late. But the fact that they were down by, 20 something points at one point, that was unacceptable. And my biggest disappointment would lean towards the Washington Wizards. They played a great first half and then came out in the third quarter real flat. And I don't know what happened in that halftime locker room. I don't know who gave them the speech or who pumped them up or who didn't pump them up, but they came out and just looked like a total different team in that third quarter, and they got outscored pretty much by one player. They didn't even get outscored by the whole team. Pretty much Jason Tatum went out there in the third quarter and simply destroyed that whole team by itself, and it was just inexcusable. Now, if you want to lean towards Bradley Beal's injury and make excuses or whatever, then you could do that. But I'm not going to do that because once you step out on the court, all excuses go out the window. And I seen highlights and I seen plays that Russell or Beal wasn't guarding this guy, and it's like at one point you have to say, you know what? I got him, and I'm going to try my best to shut him down or slow him down because what he was doing to them was pretty embarrassing. So my two picks was the Spurs and the Wizards, and the Wizards will take the worst performance of the 4 games.
Yeah, I just want to talk about for a second because I agree with that. I think the Hornets would be my answer if they had some more leadership, but they just didn't have it. Can we just talk about DeMar DeRozan? And like this man, anytime it counts, just does not show up. Just does not show up. The man, what he dropped 20, but he shot 23%.
He's not a Batman.
But they keep treating him like he's one. And it's
I mean, but that's the NBA. That's the NBA. The NBA is like, you know what happens with contracts come expectations. So once a guy starts to hit a certain threshold in that contract, you start to feel like he's supposed to do this for you. You know what I'm saying? So once DeRozan starts getting in the upper 20s, low 30s, or even mid 30s, in the millions every year, like you expect this from him, and he's just not that guy. You know what I'm saying? He's not a Batman, and at this point in his career, he might not be a Robin.
He ain't even a Robin.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like his time of being a Robin is over. He spent all his years in Toronto where he should have been a Robin, where they should have gotten him a Batman. he spent those years pretending to be a Batman or trying to be a Batman, and he burnt himself out. And now that he in his point in his career it's time to sit back, fall back, and possibly ring chase. Join a team that got 2 stars that can do it and play third fiddle. You know what I'm saying? So
he's gonna have to.
I think that's the problem, man. And it happened because you looked at it like, well, San Antonio gave up Kawhi Leonard. We know what Kawhi Leonard is. We know who Kawhi Leonard is. And you expected a Kawhi Leonard type of performance from DeMar, and that's just not him. So
who expected
close? A lot of people.
A lot of people do. Not saying you, but that's what happens. Like, listen, if you're, let me put it like that. Let me use this. If you're in a restaurant and you order something, and they come in and they bring it to you, and it's not what you want, and you say, I don't want this, I want that, and they bring that to you, you're expecting, you know what I'm saying, the same thing. You're expecting something of greatness, you know what I'm saying? And when you don't get that, it's like it makes it even more terrible. So when you gave up Kawhi and got DeMar back, it's like, all right, I know he's not Kawhi, but he should be something there. He should be close. You know what I'm saying? And he's just not. Like, can we get 25, 30 on a consistent basis? Like, no. It just seemed like he came to San Antonio and completely fell off the map.
No, I never liked that signing to begin with. I wish we never signed him. Wish we never traded Kawhi. But at this point, it is what it is. We need to just move on from him. What is it, one more year in his contract, or was this his last year? I think this was his last year in his contract.
Yeah, I believe he got
you better hope he got another year, because if that's the last game that people see him play, then they're not going to want to get him.
Because I believe it was a 4-year contract, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm
not sure.
Yeah, he's a free agent at the end of the season. So
yeah, bye.
And
I'm gonna call Greg today.
It hurts because guys like him, they play for a contract, and when you're not putting that performance up, like it's gonna hurt his pockets now. Now
he got his contract already.
Yeah, like now you're gonna look at what you feel you should be making at this point in his career, because he's not old. You look at a CP3 making 40, 41 million, and you look at DeMar, like you should be not there, but not too far off, and you might make 10% of that. Like someone might just offer you a $10 million contract, and you got to be happy to take that.
CP3 still playing at a high level.
But that's what I'm saying.
If someone offered CP3 another big contract, I wouldn't even be mad at that. But DeMar,
I wouldn't either, because I see the difference in what he brings to a team, So it's like, but I look at DeMar like, yo, you not that far off. Like you're younger. You're like 5 years younger than this guy. Like what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be averaging 18, 19 points and barely hitting 20. Like you should be better than this. And I also blame it on the game plan. Is like shoot. All these guys want to do is shoot. When that shot isn't dropping, you need to get to the rim, man. Get to the basket. Get to what works. You know what I'm saying? We're going to touch the subject when we bring up the Laker game. But as far as a player goes, and when that shot is not dropping, you got to learn to say, you know what? I'll get my shots at the free throw line, because I'm taking this ball to the rim all day. And these guys just don't do it, and that's what's hurting them. That's what's costing them.
Everybody want to be Steph.
Yeah, to me, I mean, it looks even worse when you have Kawhi, who went over to pretty much the same exact team that man had, won a ring and bounced. That magnifies it even more to you over here, and with a storied franchise in the Spurs.
What's wrong with this guy?
And you don't do nothing. Like you got one of the best coaches all time put behind you, should be knows how to get to players in a positive way, and you still, when it matters, can't show up.
I mean,
his game doesn't fit the system.
Don't get me wrong. It's not like he got the greatest team surrounding him in San Antonio, but they are better than what they put up the other night. You know, they are better than that performance they put up against Memphis, like a Memphis team. Not saying Memphis is that bad, but it's like they beat you with 2 guys, you know.
3.
Well,
I think 3.
All right, 3. Mainly Valanciunas. Like, he 23 points, 23 rebounds. Like, for you to do that, you know, but like I said, it's easy to grab rebounds when all these guys are shooting bricks. Like you said, DeMar shot 20-some% from the field. And I know he wasn't the only one. Murray had a bad game. He put up a Russell Westbrook.
Murray got 23% also.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So he had a triple-double, but he shot 23%. So it's not like these guys are efficient. They're not efficient at all. So it's like, I could see why Valanciunas got 23 rebounds. He had all these opportunities and all these missed shots to grab these rebounds. And at one point, you being the biggest dude on the damn court, you're going to get these rebounds. And he's not a center trying to play guard where he's at the three-point line shooting threes and shit. He's down low doing his job. And, you know, that hurts when you have a team that got a big man and they outside. They want to shoot all day and they want to play outside all day.
It's never going to work.
That's what's going to happen. It's not going to work. And when you run across a team like this that has a big that's willing to play center, you bound to get beat down there. So, you know, I just wish I hope for the best with DeMar. I hope he, you know, doesn't fall too far off the planet. You know, I hope somebody does give him a decent contract and a decent place, but I really don't see it. You know, at one point it was like talks of him going to New York, and at this point I don't think New York really wants him now. You know, they look at what they got and where they can go, and the right piece can get them to this promised land. And I don't think DeMar, and they know DeMar is not the piece. So
the G League is always open, so that's an option.
You're not getting 10 mil from the G League, so
no.
You know, good luck.
DeMar would not be the right fit for us. I think priority number 1 is re-signing Mitch Robinson and re-signing D Rose, and then getting a real starting point guard.
Is it Randall up for free agent?
He got it's an option. I don't know if it's player or team, but he got an option.
Well, if it's player option, he's opting out.
Yeah, I know.
Of course he is.
You already know.
This guy's gonna get a huge contract.
He's with the season he put up, he's set to make max money.
Of course.
And I think we'll give it to him.
And if you're gonna give, okay, it's no option at all. It's a straight up deal.
Is it?
Yeah, straight up.
And he's going to get the max, whatever that's going to be, 150, 200.
He got 1 year. You guys got him for 1 more year. If I was y'all, I would do something smart and try to get him for an extension now before his value go up. Like, you never know what he can do next year. And if he puts up an even better season or pretty much the same, you guys are going to be in trouble trying to keep him. So he would be my priority number 1, you know?
Yeah, if this is last year, he's definitely priority number 1. I mean, if he's smart, he takes less money so we can bring some more people in. I know we got a lot of cap space, but if he's smart, he'll take a little less. So, you know, because we need at least 2 more, you know, solid, really good pieces. We need at least 1 more superstar and another you know, solid player in there. We'll see. I mean, it's all about the money these days, so it's easy to talk about money they should give up when, you know, the lifespan of an athlete is so short. You know, you can't really knock them for taking all the money. I'd take it all if it was me, I'll take it. But
follow the money trail.
Yeah.
All right, guys are listening to the Shoot Your Shot podcast.
Yes.
I'm tune in every Tuesdays, right? Or Mondays?
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. 6 o'clock. We live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, everything, all platforms. Tune in.
And we'll
Shoot
be
the
sure to
Shot
be done
Podcast.
before anything goes down, so you won't miss any of the game.
That's right. All right.
And
So
I think the first
forward.
game tonight, 8:00, we got tonight. The Pacers and the Wizards. So
Pacers and the Wizards.
let's touch on that. So both of these teams lost, or no, the Pacers won.
Pacers won,
but the Wizards lost.
The Wizards got their butt cracked. So
they are playing for the 8th seed.
Right.
In the East.
And the Wizards are home this time, so hopefully they'll put up a better fight. Hopefully they'll put up a better show. I'm gonna go out on the limb again and pick the Wizards. I just don't see Russell and Bradley putting up another stinker like they did last time. So I got the Wizards winning this one.
Vic?
I'm going to keep it the same. I'm going to go with the Pacers. Westbrook is so unpredictable. Is Bill really injured? Is he really healthy? We don't know. Who's going to keep Sabonis off the glass? Probably nobody. Brogdon looked really
Hachimura.
Who? Yeah, okay, let's be serious, please. Brogdon looked good.
Sabonis didn't look all that good the other night, though. Let's not get it twisted.
You can't get a lot of rebounds if there's not a lot of misses.
What's going to be a lot of misses? What's going to be a lot of misses?
We ain't got to worry about him grabbing a lot of rebounds.
It's going to be a whole lot of misses. Listen, Westbrook and Bill was combining 16 for 43, 37%. One for 10 from the 3-point line, 10%.
That's ugly.
I know as a shooter, you keep shooting. I get that.
But you're not a shooter.
Well, Bill is, not Russ. At some point, Bill has to drive to the basket if the shot is not falling. You just have to.
I feel like he did that in the first half, but he went away from it in the second.
So
I think they both did that in the first half, and then in the second half, they what happens is like you down by 5. You try to shoot that 3 to get it close. You miss.
All back.
Then you down by 7. You try to shoot that 3. You miss. And next thing you know, you down by 10. You down by 11. And you just keep trying to shoot threes to get yourself back in the game. And they not dropping. And it's like, I don't know what's going on in your brain, bro. Take it to the rack. Drive to the lane. You never know. You can get an one old-fashioned 3-point. So,
and you said that Sabonis didn't play good.
No, I didn't say he didn't play good. I said he didn't look especially good. I didn't say he didn't play well. He just didn't look. He didn't look like an all-star.
Why not?
He shot bad.
He shot 7 for 15, 46%.
All right, so he got a couple of late buckets to help him because at one point he was horrible. 2 for 8, 2 for 9, something like that. So
14 points, 21 rebounds, 9 assists. His plus minus was plus 27.
Right. So he played. He did. What happened was the shot wasn't falling for him, so he didn't force it anymore. He got the team involved. He kept the team involved, and it led to easy buckets from him. Because if you see, he scored 14 on 7 makes. So he wasn't really shooting from deep. He wasn't shooting from 3-point range. He wasn't trying to hit threes and everything. So he did what was smart. His IQ was high that night. And hopefully he'll do the same thing. If he do the same thing, then Washington could be in trouble. But I don't see the back-to-back performances like this from Washington.
Who's the X factor for tonight's win?
Anytime the man's on the court, it's Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, if for Washington, it's Russell Westbrook.
For both teams.
Yeah,
that's a good point. If he can win it, he can lose
it. Right. He definitely could win the game for Washington, and he could definitely lose the game for Washington. So I do feel he's the X factor. I agree.
That the only other thing is how healthy is Bradley Beal? Bradley Beal is the one thing. A healthy Bradley Beal, he's shown this year, can negate a bad Russell Westbrook.
That is true.
So it all depends on the hamstring. That I've never personally had a hamstring injury. I've had plenty of other injuries, but I hear that's one of the hardest ones to manage. Just because you never know, you might think it's all good, and then it's you take that wrong step in the wrong in the wrong direction, and it's a whole nother game. So we'll see. I think it'll be a good game. Y'all both made your picks. I'll take mine.
Aces.
I gotta take Washington
Because the next thing you ain't gonna let you pick Indiana. We know.
No, I'm actually trying to actually pick with my brain today, and I don't see. I hope I don't see Russell Westbrook, the Russell Westbrook we saw the other night. I want to see the dude that's on fire, that's taking it to the hole, that's talking shit, that's going at somebody. I think if that's the Russell Westbrook that shows up, it's a dub for them.
Yeah, and can Indiana shoot 55%, 45% from the 3-point line again is the question. Because everything they were shooting just seemed to go in.
Well, that's because the Hornets weren't playing no defense.
So, I mean, are we going to see another performance like that from McBuckets?
No.
That's another question.
No.
He's not.
That's a 1 out of every 50 games for him. He was on the Knicks, he did that one time. We loved him for it, and then he disappeared for 20 games.
Right.
No hating on McBuckets, man.
Look, I
ain't take that name away too, man. He's just because he can shoot.
I ain't see a performance from him like that since college. Like,
tune in tonight. You're gonna see it again.
I hope so. I will be tuned in. It ain't nothing else on TV.
Yeah, for real.
So
we got the two Joes at Washington and Fix in Indiana. So 9:00 p.m. tomorrow night is the Grizzlies and the Warriors fighting for the 8th spot in the West. I don't think we're going to disagree on this one, but let's find out. Vic, you started off.
I'm going with the Grizzlies. I'm just going with the Grizzlies. I think Valanciunas is going to be too much for them in the paint. I just think he's going to be too much. That was my X factor for them against the Spurs, and look what happened. 23 freaking rebounds, which leads to what? Offensive points, because those are offensive rebounds as well. I think he had 6 or 7 offensive rebounds that all led to buckets. So I'm going Memphis. Dylan Brooks looked good. He's a dog. We know he can play. John Steph is going to be fun to watch. But, yeah, there's no one on Golden State come close to guarding up Jonas. What is Jonas, 7'1", 7'2"?
Yeah, he's 7'2".
Kevin Looney is what, 6'7", 6'8"?
I think he's like 6'10", 6'9", 6'10".
According to NBA.com, Valanciunas is only 6'11".
He looked way bigger than 6'11".
I thought he was bigger than that as well. But
that's my pick. I'm going Memphis just with Valanciunas. I think that's going to be the X factor. I mean, I love Steph to death, but I just don't know. Can someone else step up?
Joe?
Seeing that they only lost by 3 points last night, and it was, I don't know if y'all watched the game or what, and like it was a lot of bullshit going on. There's a lot of funny business going on again.
You don't say.
And Golden State only lost by 3. I think at this point is like Steph don't need as much help as we think. And Valanciunas is getting them rebounds because of misses. I don't see Golden State. I don't see 2-3 players on Golden State shooting 20%, 22%, 23%. I got Golden State. I got them. I don't see them getting eliminated like this. I see them continuing their season, and I see a big performance from Steph. I don't think anyone on Memphis can hold Steph.
Oh no, not even close.
Jai's gonna have his hands full, which means he's not gonna have it easy on offense. When you gotta use so much energy on defense, and That's the thing. Steph is not just a standstill shooter. This guy, he constantly moves around. So I just don't think Ja got what it takes to maintain and keep up with him, as well as score to keep up with him. Um, I mean, you could counter with other players, but Memphis would need A games from so many guys. They would need an A game from 2 to 3 to 4 different players other than Ja. So you're looking at an A game from your whole starting five and maybe a bench player, or three of your starting five and two of your bench players. So I don't know. Golden State is starting to hit a stride. It's not just Steph. Is Mulder. Is Juan Toscano Anderson. Is Jordan Poole. These guys are starting to wake up. They're starting to get a feel for what's going on in Golden State. And you've seen it. The Lakers kind of had their hands full. The only difference is the Lakers were smart enough to stop shooting threes and take the ball inside, drive the ball inside, get a couple of and ones, slow the game down a little bit, play bully ball, because the way it was going, it looked like Golden State was going to put up 120 points. But then the Lakers slowed it down, said, you know what? If we keep trying to run and gun with these guys, we're going to lose. Is Memphis smart enough to pull that off? I don't think so. I don't think Memphis has the IQ like LeBron James and the Lakers. So Memphis is going to try to continue to keep up with Golden State. They're going to try to shoot threes. They're going to try to play out of their format instead of going inside to Valanciunas and slowing things down, because, like he said, there's no one on Golden State that can hold him. There's nobody big enough on Golden State that can hold him. But that's if Memphis is smart enough to keep going down low. And the way Steph is going to play, I don't think John is smart enough to do that. So I got Golden State.
Yeah, I think the Warriors do a really good job of tricking you into playing at their tempo. And when you have a young point guard who wants to play that tempo, because we all know Ja wants to play that tempo.
Wants to run.
He wants to get up and down the court. He does not want to sit there and just drop it off to Valanciunas all game. He does not.
No.
That grit and grind shit died with Zach Randolph. That's not the game anymore.
Nope.
And that's exactly what they're going to have to do to win. Walk it down, either do pick and roll, pick and pop, or just dump to Valanciunas down low. That's what they would need to do to win, but they're not going to do it. Especially if they get down a couple points early, they're going to be running up and down the court with Golden State and Steph Curry, and nobody does it better than them. So I got to take Golden State.
Does it really matter at this point? Like, who wins between Golden State and Memphis? Do we honestly believe either one of those teams is going to beat Utah?
I think it plays for a better matchup. Like, I would prefer Golden State play Utah as opposed to Memphis, because I don't think Memphis would have enough in the tank to even put up a fight against Utah. If Memphis play Utah, I see Memphis losing in 4 to 5 games. Whereas if Golden State plays Utah, that can go 6 or 7, and you never know. What's the health of Donovan Mitchell? If you ain't got a healthy Donovan Mitchell, Golden State could be, they got all the capabilities of even beating Utah. So you never know. I just feel like in the playoffs, anything can happen. You try to take advantage of, your team that you playing. You may underestimate them, and I don't think you could underestimate Golden State. And at this point, I don't think anyone's underestimating Golden State. I think the Lakers did for a quarter and a half or maybe a half, and then it was like, yo, you know what? We can't do this anymore. You know what I'm saying? We can't do this. And they turned loose.
That was the difference maker right there. It came down to free throws. 25 attempts for the Lakers compared to 15 for Golden State. That's basically a ball game.
And it's crazy that the Lakers was in the penalty with about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Warriors didn't shoot any free throws. Like Like how you got these guys in the penalty with 7 minutes left in the game, and you can't get another foul, like anything. And I just don't get that. I don't understand that.
So are we saying LeBron paid the refs off? Is that what we're getting?
I'm not saying nothing. I don't feel players pay refs.
So it's the owners.
I don't feel owners pay refs. I don't feel
the NBA pays the refs.
The NBA pays the refs to ref the game.
Adam Silver.
This is my issue. Here's my issue. And I said, this is a big issue. As long as you got online gambling, sports gambling, fantasy, and all of this, that, and the third, these refs take part in that. And we may not feel, and we may think they don't, but they do. They got accounts. They got FanDuel. They got fantasy. They got all of that. So that plays a major factor, and that can make games, especially close games like this. You can play with them. You can't. It's not easy to do it in crazy blowouts, but when a game is this close, yeah, it's easy. It's easy to close your eyes on one side and blow your whistle too quick on this side. Like I just don't like the fact that it's easier for refs to participate in online betting and sports betting now than it has been in any time in our lives.
See, but then again, it depends on what the tempo of the game is. Now, if I'm Golden State and I'm jacking nothing but jump shots, 3-pointers, of course I'm not gonna get a call. But if I'm the Lakers and I'm cutting into the basket and I'm getting hacked, what do you think is gonna happen?
That's true. That's true. But you mean to tell me we were able to get y'all in the penalty within the first 4 to 5 minutes of the quarter, and we can't draw another foul for the next 7 minutes? That seems odd to me. You mean to tell me we was doing whatever we needed to do to get you in quick foul trouble, and now that you're in foul trouble, we don't take advantage of that? I don't know. That just seems very odd. You know.
So all I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna shout out another podcast that's out there that I suggest y'all listen to if you're interested in this. The Whistleblower Podcast. If y'all ain't listen to it, listen to that because it goes into this exact subject, and it's pretty crazy. It'll really make you think about professional sports in general and the referees. But we got a couple minutes left, and I just want to ask one question. Obviously, it's going to be Lakers related because that's the big story. I read earlier today the first ever 7th seed to be the favorites to win a series.
Yeah, I read that.
I read that as well.
I just want to get y'all thoughts on that before we get out of here.
Come on, we know what this is. Look, who's on the team? Who's on LA? What does it all boil down to? Who's on LA?
But should one man have all that power?
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because let's just think about this for a second. If it was the Chicago Bulls as a 7th seed with Michael Jordan, top of his game, MJ, against Detroit, number 2 seed, who you think the odds is favoring? MJ.
Oh, man,
that's just how powerful these players are.
I look at it like numbers and money. Like he said, it all boils down to money. Everything boils down to money. How much money will the NBA make if the Lakers are gone in the first round? As you see the year Toronto won the title, it wasn't one of the worst finals ratings, but it was down there. It wasn't one of the worst.
But last year, the Lakers were in it, and it was the worst finals
because nobody was really feeling the bubble thing. Like nobody really. Only Laker fans was really hyped because they knew they were the clear-cut winners. Like nobody was given the same energy as the Lakers. You could look at the games and tell nobody was really given that same energy. But I just look at this year as you had basically a full season. You know, you had everyone has a chance. You also got teams that are the favorite, but not really the favorite, meaning they got the best records, but nobody really likes them. Nobody liked Utah. Think about it. Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert were the last 2 picks on the All-Star. They were the owners. They were the owners of the best record in the NBA and were the last 2 picks for the All-Star.
Because they play for Utah.
Because they play for Utah.
They play for a team. They're not all about self.
Yeah, but still, they were. You mean to tell me they were the 2 worst players out of all the All-Stars selected? No.
Let me tell you something. Donovan Mitchell is my favorite player of the new generation right now. I love the way he plays.
And then you got Phoenix. Other than Chris Paul, nobody really like. Even Devin Booker don't get the credit he deserves and the props he deserves.
Well, because he ain't done shit yet. You got to prove it.
I mean,
you mean playoff?
What has he done up until this year? What has he done?
He's done, a bunch of points. He's done what every other player does before winning the title. What James Harden has done.
He has a great beard.
He won MVP because his team was on he had a winning record as an MVP. His team. But other than that, like, he ain't really done much of nothing. Look at Devin. Devin Booker puts up pretty much the same numbers. He just don't go on scoring spurts like that. But at the end of the day, he averaging 26, 27, 28 points a game. He ain't in no MVP conversations. Donovan Mitchell, before he got hurt, was averaging 26 points a game, and his team had the best record in the NBA. He wasn't in no MVP conversations. It's just simply nobody likes these 2 teams. So it's like, we don't want to see Utah in the finals.
But why not?
I wouldn't mind it.
Don't ask me. I don't know why.
So who do we want to see in the finals? LeBron?
Everybody want to see the Lakers against the Nets.
I don't want to see that.
Not me. Well, don't get me wrong. I won't mind seeing the Nets in there, but Lakers and Nets, I don't want to see it.
If you was to do a poll,
that
series would win. The Lakers against the Nets would be a clear cut, not a just win. That would be the clear cut favorite series to watch.
You're right.
I'm talking 70 to 80% of the people would vote for that.
You know what? I take back what I said. I actually would not mind seeing the Nets versus the Lakers, but it's only for one reason I would like to see that.
Because the Nets
Kevin Durant is gonna bust LeBron James' ass like he does every series, and I just want the whole world to see it happen on the big stage again.
I feel that. I feel like that's borderline hater status, but it's the truth. It is the truth. So, but we'll see what happens. So
let's make that clear. I don't hate LeBron. LeBron's a great player. It's just his fans are so annoying. Like, dude, shut up. Sit down somewhere. Like, we get it. LeBron's a great player. Like, take the knee pads off first before you start this conversation. You know what I mean? That's my only gripe.
But they're gonna be what they're gonna be because he's it right now.
I get it, but I don't get it at the same time.
My issue is they don't never give his supporting cast props.
Oh yeah, he's always got the worst teammates.
Yeah, like no matter
Kyrie Irving wasn't shit. Dwayne Wade was a has-been.
Yeah,
Chris Bosh was a nobody. Kevin Love sucks.
This dude be having top of the line teammates, and they get no props and no respect. Like Anthony Davis pretty much carried or helped you win this title last year, and Anthony Davis gets no respect. It seems like Anthony Davis is still ringless.
It does seem that way. It does seem that way.
Like for real. It seems like Anthony Davis is ringless. He's still this player that's playing in New Orleans that can't lead a team to shit and can't do nothing. And the only reason why he won a ring is because LeBron.
You didn't know that? LeBron's the point guard, shooting guard, 3, 4, 5, and the coach. I thought
that reminds me of the Bugs Bunny cartoon. First base, Bugs Bunny. Second base, Bugs Bunny. That's LeBron James. Like,
I thought we knew this already. He's got the Infinity Gauntlet.
We know this, but this is why we don't like we don't give the props to this guy and his teams the way we do, and this is why we get upset with his fans because it's like, bro, he's not on the court by himself, and he's not on the court with bums. This guy be having top of the line teammates, and they are like, come on, man, let's be realistic here. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he didn't join a 73 win team, yeah, but he joined 2 of the top 10 players at one point.
Yeah.
He joined when Anthony Davis came to the Lakers, he was considered the best power forward in the league.
Yep.
So you're joining, and then he had Anthony Davis, the best power forward in the league, and you still want Kawhi Leonard.
We know how this goes.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do like a LeBron deep dive. That's gonna have to be a whole hour or something because if we keep going, we're gonna run time over. So we're gonna thank everybody again for listening. We'll be back on Tuesday. We'll talk about the games that happened this weekend. If y'all wanted us to talk about anything else, like I said before, you can let us know. Email, YouTube, Twitch, IG, Facebook, wherever. So
all inboxes are open, all mailboxes.
We'll talk about it. One homie asked us for women's water polo. I don't know shit about women's water polo, so
who asked for that?
Skip that one.
Women's water polo.
Somebody really asked for that?
Wow.
Yeah, in the chat.
Let me
has been
let me at least find someone that's famous.
Yeah, right.
Women's water polo. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
You know?
So thank you for listening. This has been Shoot Your Shot, the podcast.
Sir.
We out of here.
Sir. Have a good one.
Quick shout out to Corey Kluber. 1-2 punch for the Yanks. We looking good, and we out.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Oh.